looking at early afternoon, maybe around 1-ish. I'll send an email out to everybody tomorrow on that. If you've got a question, this is being streamed. Please raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you, okay? Coach.
Thanks, Matt. Okay, so, yeah, it's pretty obvious. It was a really tough competitive game, between two really, I think, good teams and very determined teams. And hats off to them. They did a great job finishing out. But just talk about our team a little bit. I thought our week of preparations as good as we've had. Saw growth during the week. So, pleased to see that. I thought we fought extremely hard, and I thought our guys really competed hard. And I'll say the same thing about our opponent. So, it was one of those types of games in conference play that you're gonna get. I think there were a lot of good responses out there. Certainly we had some miscues that hurt us and put us in a tough position. The start of the game wasn't exactly how we scripted it out. And, but the guys responded. They came back and responded. And I think we saw that, as the whole game went on. So there were some things, believe it or not, that I thought we did better. And, that's encouraging. And then obviously left the door open with some mistakes. And the turnover thing, we're -1 on the season right now, turnover-wise, in 5 games into it. And I was hoping we'd be a little higher than that right now. And that was obviously, a factor today. Missed a couple opportunities. So, just overall, I think winning, everybody understands winning is really hard. In college football, it's hard in this conference, always has been. And it's a week-to-week thing. You can't compare weeks. And I know everybody likes to do that, but you can't do that. It's week-to-week each and every time. So biggest thing right now, we're sitting here with a 3-2 record. We got 2 one-score losses. And, got 7 games to go. So the thing I shared with the players in the locker room was that, there's a lot of football ahead. Not as much as we had a couple weeks ago, obviously, but there's a lot of football left. And the big thing I'm pretty sure is we got really good people here. We got a good staff, and we got quality players, and these guys are great to work with. They have improved, and one thing I'm encouraged about is we will improve as long as we, keep our attitude where it needs to be. So we've shown some growth, and I really believe we got a lot of room for more improvement, and that's the work that we need to do forward. So, when you win and everybody's happy, and when you lose, things get a little bit negative. But the bottom line is, we'll determine what the season will be. That's our job to do that, and our players, it starts with them. So based on what I've seen, I'm not worried about that. But, we'll feel bad tomorrow. We'll get back on our feet Monday and hopefully use this week really wisely. And then we'll, turn our attention to the next 3-game block and go from there. I'll throw it out for questions.
David Eichel, HawkeyeInsider.com. Kirk, the defensive line obviously got a lot of pressure on Fernando, but you got an interception, so some strides were made defensively. But tackling, it just seemed like was it bad angles? Was it just not gang tackling? I guess what's your kind of analysis with just the tackling in general today?
Yeah, if there's one thing defensively to me that's after this block of games, we've got to get better at tackling. And I got to see the tape from today, but it just seems to me like, a lot of it's more the inexperienced guys that haven't had as much game competition. And typically, bad angles are usually where your eyes are. Those are the 2 things that really, I'm thinking about one play here in the second half where we were outside in on a guy instead of being inside out. And you just open the door for some bad things. And that's one thing we knew coming in with this game. There's a lot of yards after catch last week with Indiana against their opponent. And, it's one thing to give up a completion, that's going to happen, but you can't let it, can't make the bleeding worse. You got to get it stopped. And, we had a couple of those today too, but they're, they got some good players and those guys do a good job. And tackling's definitely on the list.
Hey, Kirk, Elliot Clough, HawkeyeInsider.com. First thing, any update on Mark?
Other than, he came out of the tent. You guys all saw that. Just didn't feel like he could decelerate. That was the issue. Some positive feedback, but we'll get testing tomorrow and see where it's at. Then we'll know more.
Second thing, did you see maybe what went awry on that last field goal attempt? Why Drew wasn't able to make it?
I don't know. It's a play hopefully we can make. I don't want to say routinely. I hate that word in football. But, you hope it's a play we can make. And, he made some great field goals also. So, it's just one of those things. We'll just have to work through it. I'm sure he will.
Jackson Miller, Daily Iowan. Coach, what did you see from Cohen Entringer today? Had a couple big stops there on those 4th downs. Just what's your overall analysis of him today?
Yeah, you know, one thing we just talked about, missed tackles. Cohen's had a few missed tackles, this season. But he's exactly what I'm describing. He's a guy who just plays with such high effort. He's such a high caliber guy. Personally, just an unbelievable human being, really good leader. And but that's where that game experience, because he does go full speed. That's not an issue. And he located a few of his tackles too, which was good to see, especially on the fourth down stuff. But he's going to be a heck of a football player for us, and just has a little bit more control there. But that's experience, and he's, no question in my mind, he'll be just fine. But yeah, some really good fourth down stops today by our defense. Really impressive.
Kirk, Tom Kakert, Hawkeye Report. Wanted to ask you about Hank. Obviously, a tough spot for him to go in there, but how do you think he handled that situation?
He seemed poised and, seemed alert and aware and all that type of deal. But I'm sure he wishes he could have done a little bit better, and maybe we need to help him a little bit more off to see the tape. But, he's a high caliber guy, and he's been practicing really well. So, feel really good about that group, and just this is experience that will help him too as we move forward.
Chad Leistiko, Des Moines Register. It's 3rd and 5. If you get it, I know if you get a first down there, you basically clinch the game.
Yep.
Did you like the play call there? Was that something you guys have executed well in practice and just didn't go well this time?
Yeah, no, Tim called a good game. I mean, just they made it hard. Bigger picture, they made it hard for us to run today, and credit to them. It was good football, a good strategy on their part. And it really wasn't until in the first half where Kamari kind of popped that one in front of our bench there, where we finally got a little traction. They did a good job, clogging run lanes and all that type of thing. But no, I thought, Tim called a really good game. No fault with our strategy, and just execution's got to be a little bit better. And yeah, sure, you'd like to get the first down. If you do, hopefully the game's over. But you still got to convert the rest of the play, either score a touchdown or get a field goal. Obviously, in that situation, if we can get a touchdown and burn the clock, that would have been perfect. Didn't work out.
Tyler Tashman with the Des Moines Register. The end of the first half, when they got the ball back, went really quickly down the field and got the field goal. What did you see kind of go wrong in that sequence?
Two things. I mean, gave up a big completion there and then tacked on a personal foul. So, one in itself would have been bad enough, but then to double dip it really hurt. I still have not seen that play. Didn't see it on the replay board because things were happening fast, and I just asked our staff about it. They, had on the iPads there. They thought it was ticky-tack, but, that you just can't take that chance. And college football is like the NFL, where they're trying to protect quarterbacks, so you got to be smarter than that. And I think that was a younger player, too, who's not real game experience. So, we'll live and learn from that one. But, yeah, I just hate to give up an easy 3 points, Thought we had a chance to shut the door on that thing at the start of that whole possession.
Ethan Petrie, Quad City Times. Coach, at the end of the fourth quarter, when it was clear Indiana wasn't going to play the kneel down straight, what did you tell the defense, and have you been a part of a finish like that before?
Yeah, I mean, two things. I mean, you almost hate to do that because it just prolongs their chance to feel good, which is, kind of crappy. But I'm old enough to remember Joe Pisarcik too, so, maybe there is a tooth fairy out there somewhere. You just hope maybe something would happen. But to their credit, they handled it well, and, that's it.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Okay, thank you.